morning or good afternoon. I am Sammy Khatib, and as part of the Revolutionizing and Materials webinar, I'll be active travel. So, brief look at the contents. I'll touch on chartership travel, go through brief introduction about myself. I have a civil engineering degree and master's. I'm a chartered engineer. I'm currently previously I was at Mott McDonald. So what is a chartered engineer? Well, it's someone that has shown relevant competence and experience in technical aspects. Why would you become chartered? Well, it can help with career progression, especially early on, and also want to chartered engineers charge more for that engineering services. How would you become chartered? Well, there are various professional bodies such as the ICE and the ASCE. So I am part of the ICE, and how you become part of the ICE? Well, you just join up and join through relevant training agreements, or you can go down various other routes. So what I had to do was show my experience by writing reports over a various number of years, and show that I have relevant experience in technical, in commercial, health and safety, sustainability, and my commitment to ICE. And then after that, do a final report and a get asked about a project and about your time as a civil engineer. And then you'd also do a exam. That's the process that the ICE may do join a training agreement. So active travel. The definition of active travel is travelling to a destination by walking or cycling, the most sustainable form of travel. It's good for the individual's health, CO2 emissions released into the atmosphere, and helps reduce the impacts of climate change. Climate change is a big topic, and it's always discussed in the global summits, various country representations to help try and achieve net zero. Net zero in the UK is defined as government commitment to ensure the UK reduces its greenhouse gas emissions by 100% 1990 levels by 2050. Therefore, I think a lot of engineering projects now have this primary focus. So, discuss one of the projects that I worked on. LPTIP is short for Leeds Public Transport Investment Programme. It's a £160 million scheme overall and consists of 5 corridor improvements and 2 parking rides. So here you can just see the 5 corridor improvements as part of the LPTIP, and then also the 2 parking rides in the 3 and the 4 grey images at the bottom. So I worked on the Sturton Parking Ride, which I'll discuss in my next slide. So Sturton Park and Ride is an innovative scheme, as it's got solar panel infrastructure above the car parking spaces. 1,200 spaces overall, with 30 bays for electric vehicle charging, so electric cars can charge there can be charged there as well. It has a £34 million budget and encourages users to cycle from the park and ride down to the city centre. So as you can see, the left hand side is a satellite aerial image of the Sturton before any works were done, and the right hand side is a proposal of the ride. So my role on the Sturton Park and Ride involved preparing site investigation forms, so the contractor is informed of where to dig trial pits and undertake any GPR surveys. That's just it. I also I reviewed the existing utilities in the area and managed any diversions. I managed and coordinated all the ducting for all the infrastructure. I produced utility modelling guidance for colleagues in the European Design Centre, and I've prepared various chamber schedules. And I also wrote specifications for the ducting. I also wrote specifications for the site clearance and the access operations, as I was also part of the design team managing that package of works. So this image just shows the ducting on the scheme. So the route shown in the red and the blue and the purple is electricity, water, and the so the underneath the cycleway and footway, you can see electricity, water, and telecoms leading up to the terminus building. You can see the ducting for the solar panel infrastructure, which is here. You also have the ducting for electricity and data cables for the electric vehicle charging units in Amey. You also have some ducting on the eastern outer ring, and this is to provide future charging bays if needed. So here's just an example of a cubist chamber detail. So these are the chambers that were used for the ducts on the scheme. They were modular units, so they could be easily adjusted on site. And also, these details were produced really to ensure that the bending radius of the cables, well, it was to ensure that the chambers were of a sufficient size and they accounted for the bending radius of various cable sizes. So the project itself was very sustainable. The solar panels themselves help make the park and ride self-sustainable, with any excess sold back to the grid. It promotes cycling into the city centre, which is a sustainable mode of transport. The buses themselves are electric buses, and there's also charging units for electric cars, as discussed. Also, the project looks at the whole life cycle, so we have provided ducting for if they ever want to expand the project and provide more charging infrastructure. And the park and ride itself is in line with the Sustainable Development Goal 9, SDG Goal 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure, as we're providing modern technology in a civil engineering project to try and help achieve that net zero goal. Another project I'm working on is bus corridor improvements within the city. The main reason, well, the scheme is essentially, this is just an excerpt of the scheme, and this part of the scheme looks at trying to improve bus journey times and cycle times into the city centre. So how it's being done is this junction is being adjusted and upgraded to provide traffic signals in the bus lane. So the bus lane has priority over the normal traffic. And as buses and cyclists will be using this bus lane, it will hopefully help improve bus journey times and cycling times into the city centre. Hopefully this will encourage more people to use cycling and buses, which is more sustainable than if they just decided to use their car to go into the city. And that really concludes my presentation. I hope it was informative and gives you an insight on a slightly different aspect of civil engineering. I firmly believe that all future projects will, the majority of projects will be focusing on sustainable travel and active travel, improving cycling and walking infrastructure to help achieve those net zero goals. So again, thank you for listening to my presentation, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy